Good morning, guys. How's it going? Want to welcome you back to another live stream. Your driver Mike here. Thanks for joining on this Saturday morning here in San Diego on the West Coast. Wherever you're joining from, want to welcome you. We do this every Saturday. We're looking at the 10 a.m. spot, Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. if you're on the East Coast. Want to welcome you, guys. We have a lot to talk about today. We're fielding your questions today. So let's welcome you here. All right, there we go, guys. Good morning. Welcome to another live stream. It's been a little bit. It's been a few weeks since we've done the live stream. And by the way, guys, if you keep seeing me look up here on YouTube, we're dual streaming on Twitter. Again, I want to welcome everyone on Twitter. We are over at Your Driver Mike on YouTube. So, guys, this is our first Ask Me Anything. Good morning, Eric. Hey, thanks for joining. Yes, it's our first Ask Me Anything, guys, which means you can basically ask me anything. We're going to give you guys tips about rideshare, about business, customer service, communications, whatever you'd like. Then we're going to target that today. Also talk about a few developments with Uber and kind of hear from your voice about what do you think about Uber's new CEO and his first kind of week or so of onboarding as the new really face of the company. We're going to talk about that as well. As always, guys, hey, thanks for joining here. We have people joining on Twitter. I want to thank you for watching. Today, we've got the same thing as last time. Same thing as last time, guys. Got a little kind of coffee drink here. Keep us moving today. You know, I'm good to go, though. I'm ready to go today. Eric, thanks for joining. We got people filing in here on YouTube. Hey, guys, appreciate you joining here. Yeah, we're going to try to squeeze in a live stream last week, but with the kind of service, issues to be expected from the Gorge Amphitheater in Washington State and the general busyness of the whole kind of festival that we were at. We didn't get a live stream, but we're doing this Ask Me Anything as well, making sure that we can field your guys' questions. So I want to ask if you have any questions whatsoever. This stream is dedicated to helping you guys out. Whatever it may be, you can ask me whatever you'd like, and I want to target your questions today. So we're also targeting a few other things. I'm going to give you guys an update on signing up in new markets and what that entails. As you know, we were moving from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, moving to San Diego, here where we are now. And going over, what does that look like, right? What does it take to sign up in a new market? What do you need to submit to Uber and Lyft? What's the turnaround time? And then talk strategy about driving in new markets. I want to talk about the London developments with Uber. If you guys don't know, Uber recently lost their business license, lost their ability to operate in London. We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to field your questions. We're going to ask you guys what you want to see in the channel and talk about the channel direction as we are kind of cresting 1,500 subscribers. You guys are awesome. And we just posted the 1,000 subscriber giveaway winner. We posted that video on the channel a few days ago. I'm going to talk about other money-making strategies for driving. We've talked about cargo on the channel. And we're going to talk about anything that you can do to maximize your profits when driving. Hey, Midnight Rider John from Indiana, PA. Appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. Yes, guys, it's time for another live stream. It's been a little bit. I appreciate you joining here. And we're still kind of working with the best time for everybody. But guys, as you can see below, if you're just joining, this is our itinerary for today. Excuse me, we got a little kind of cough that we're kind of battling here, allergies, something, who knows, right? But our itinerary is below. Hey, Twitter, again, we are live streaming on YouTube at Your Driver Mike, and we're doing an interactive live stream going over what we're talking about today. Guys, here is our itinerary. There it is. Ask me anything. We're fielding your questions today. It can be rideshare. It can be business related, customer service, communications, sales. What do you guys want to ask? Oh, yes, and I'm glad that we have this itinerary. Because check it out. Guys, look at this. What it's like to use Turo. What it's like to use Turo. And that's kind of, I'm glad we put that on there. I put that on there yesterday because my girlfriend Mackenzie and I, We used Turo for the first time when in Seattle, and the Washington State area last weekend. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Turo, what it's like, what it is, how easy was it, problems with Turo, and we're going to field, of course, field your questions as well, because that's what we do here on the AMA. And of course, guys, coming on the screen right here, super chats are always appreciated. Just for viewers in the live stream, you guys have to be on the live stream right now to have that ability, and you also have to be watching on a laptop, a desktop, I believe. I don't believe YouTube has optimized the mobile super chats just yet, but if you would like and show your extra special appreciation, you can send a super chat as well. Hey Eric, what is Turo? Guys, what is Turo, by the way? Turo is an on-demand car rental service. So you can think of it as the Uber for car rentals. So basically, you're going to have a marketplace with individuals listing their personal vehicles that you can rent. And we're going to talk about the cost comparisons with the traditional mediums. And we're going to talk about concerns with insurance, safety, etc. But that's what Turo is, guys. So how you guys doing? Hey, Francisco, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Where are you guys watching from? Where are you guys joining from? Thanks so much for joining, guys. And I'm wondering if the lighting's okay here. It looks a little bright here on my end. All right, guys. So feel free to post your questions right now, and if we don't get any coming through right now, we're going to talk about the sign-up process, okay? Kind of the first item on our itinerary that we wanted to go over is what does it take to change markets? Okay, what concerns should you have, and what is it really, what's the timeline to expect when signing up for a new market? Well, of course, guys, if you don't know, we drove separate trips to make sure we can get everything across country, but I drove across the United States from Pittsburgh, PA, here to San Diego, and we did it in just 4 days, and we live streamed the entire journey for you guys. If you're watching on the rebroadcast, I'll link it up here if you want to watch that playlist. Yeah, guys, 4 days, 9 hours a day. It was a fun time. Make sure to check out that playlist. So we entered a new market, right? We entered this beautiful San Diego market, but there was quite a few steps that we need to take, both on the state level and with the rideshare company. So let's talk about that. Firstly, obviously you got to change everything over. You got to change all the paperwork over, and I could show you guys, but we're using the phone for the live streaming right now. What you're going to see is Uber's app is going to show you that you're unavailable to go online, and it's going to have a red banner at the top of the screen, and it's going to say, hey, you can't go online here. And why is that? With Uber, you can only register with one home market. And if you're out of that market, you cannot drive. You cannot go online. Now, depending on your market, you may have kind of an umbrella, kind of a region that you can drive in. In Pittsburgh, we could drive in West Virginia. We could drive in, I believe, Ohio. So a few surrounding states, right? You have a kind of an umbrella, again, umbrella region that you can drive in. And let me clear that out on Twitter. So you do have some leeway, right? But if you go too far, right, out of that region, you cannot go online. You can't go online, you can't make any money. Now, why is that an issue, right? Why would you need to drive if you're 4 states away, okay? Well, what I was talking with you guys is, for me, I was driving across country. If I could take, 5 rides a day or something like that, I could help pay for gas, right? And it would just be a nice supplement to the expenses when I'm driving. Excuse me. So if I was able to go online, then at least, I could cover some of those expenses. If you're on vacation and you have some downtime, for whatever reason, if you want to go online, that's fine. You want to make some extra money, you could, but not with Uber. So that's what you'll see if you try to go online in a market that's outside of that umbrella. And again, you're going to have to check with your local markets to see how far that region would be. Hey, William, thanks for joining. William's joining from Montreal, Canada. Our winner for the 1,000 subscriber milestone, who won a Van True N2 Pro, was up in Canada there, British Columbia. So if you can't go online, you can't make any money, right? So we started here in San Diego, and I have to change all those documents. I can't even see surge. And why is that? Because again, I'm out of my home market. Uber will only show you the surge in your home market, okay? So even though I am sitting here in San Diego and I would love to track those surge trends, I can't even see that. And I'm curious, guys, why do you think that is? Why would you think Uber doesn't even show you the surge trends, only for your home market? I'm not sure. You cannot go online, that'd be fine, but why wouldn't they show you the surge trends? At least I could kind of get a feel for it. I don't know if it's too much, front-loaded work on their end, if it's something to do with, more coding involved, work involved on the app end. I don't know. Let me ask you guys that. Why wouldn't they show us at least, the active map, the active search trends, even though we're not, live in the market? That's interesting, though. And Francisco makes a great point. Yes, Francisco says, does Lyft do any city to go online? Hey, Simon, thanks for joining. Simon bringing the energy. Simon in the house. Appreciate it, Simon. We've seen a lot of familiar faces here, guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Lyft does allow you to go online in any really market, at least across the United States here. And I've tested that. I've been able to go online throughout the whole process of driving across country. Fighting this cold, guys. I appreciate your patience. So with Uber, you cannot. Uber, you cannot go online in any market other than that regional market. So Lyft won't show you anything different. The Lyft screen will look the same. The driver app will look the same. You can click online and go online and be fine there. So with Uber, you got to change your driver's license. You got to change the registration. You need to change your insurance. Okay. Now, with that, again, make sure you're satisfying any state, local laws, anything like that as far as driving. Especially with the insurance, make sure you have the right kind of coverage. If you don't have rideshare insurance, you definitely need rideshare insurance, guys. It's a hybrid policy. There's a period 1 of driving when you're online and you don't have a passenger. You need special coverage for that, typically. And your personal insurance won't always usually cover that driving because you're driving for hire. The initial policy you signed up for is just for personal mileage. They'll say, hey, you didn't tell us that you're driving for any kind of business. We're not going to cover that. Simon, it's simple. Mike, all you have to do is shoot them an email or use Twitter to reach out to Uber support, and boom, you're active in any city in the US. Hey, that's a good heads up, Simon. We'll have to check that out. I may have to reach out to them right after this. Simon, except for some cities that have regulations, yes, meaning hack licenses. Yeah, Simon's referring to taxi, limousine commission, business licenses, commercial insurance, stuff like that, like New York City. So Simon brings up a good point. We're going to find out. Yeah, we're going to check that. And I think we may reach out to Uber before we finalize the registration for San Diego, because we can test that, Simon. And that's a great point. Thanks for mentioning that. So with that heads up, guys, I'm going to let you guys know. Make sure you're following across Twitter as well. And I'll let you guys, and I'll do a follow-up on Twitter. That's at Your Driver Mike. So make sure you're following me over there. We post some more info over there as well, which is another good reason to follow. We post articles and updates on the channel over at Twitter. And if you guys would like to see a Facebook presence as well, let me know in the comments. We've been thinking about creating a Facebook community presence as well, so let me know. We're hoping today, guys. We're hoping the cough goes away today. I know. So, we're in the process right now of changing all of those items over. We have the temporary license currently. The insurance has been done. The license plates are switched over, ready to go. So the only thing we need to do is register on the Uber platform. You're just gonna update your documents. That's it. And in your app, in the help section, there's a walkthrough explaining how to change markets. You just got to do that. You're going to say, hey, I want to drive in this market. You're going to provide the updated documents, and then Uber is going to activate you in that new market and deactivate you in the older market and make that transition. But yeah, guys, if you're on Lyft, the good thing about Lyft is you can drive in any market. Again, this is across the continental US, but you can go online in any market, which is a nice convenience to have on Lyft. Simon has a question for the Ask Me Anything, Android or Apple? I know that's really annoying, guys. I apologize. I'm an Apple user. There we go. There's one. Remember, guys, whenever you drive Mike live stream, if I don't mess up 3 words, it's not an official live stream. There's one. Yeah, I use Apple. We're in the Apple ecosystem right now, guys. We're streaming from a MacBook Pro 15-inch with touch bar, and then we're streaming up here on Twitter on an iPhone 7. I just like the aesthetic of it, the usability, so. Yes, Simon asking, does anyone here use the new iOS 11? Yes, I updated to iOS 11 a couple days ago. Yeah. New features like the new dashboard, some new transitions and animations within the iPhone ecosystem. Nothing too much else. I don't really notice it. I don't know. I know there's a lot of changes, but I haven't really noticed much, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, but I don't know. It's the Samsung, was it the Note 8? Is that the new one? The S8. The S8's the new one that came out. Really nice looking phone. And actually, if you guys want to talk about that, really interesting aesthetic between the Galaxy S8 and then the iPhone 10. Very similar kind of footprint. So it's interesting to see who gets more leverage because they basically kind of look, pretty similar, right? All right, guys, any other questions on the sign-up process? Any other questions you want to shoot at me right now? Otherwise, we're going to talk about the developments in London. And I'm going to pretend that we don't have this little cold here. You guys are awesome for hanging on with me. Yes, Simon, that's another good question. I mean, with the Uber app, I'm holding off for now. What Simon's referring to is, with iOS 11, are there any issues with the Uber app? I haven't noticed any, but again, I kind of have limited range with using the Uber app on iOS 11. I'm still waiting for the documents to go through. The Note 8, okay, yeah, the newer one on the Samsung ecosystem is a Note 8, okay. I have heard that there may be some issues with iOS 11. I haven't seen any yet, though. Hey, Twitter, hey, thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it. I obviously have a cold, which is fantastic. I want to thank you guys for joining. We're live streaming over on YouTube at Your Driver Mike. Thanks for joining, guys. So the London developments here. As you may know, Uber lost their business license, lost their ability to operate in London. It affects 40,000 drivers. Affects 40,000 drivers, and I believe over on Twitter today or yesterday, a new CEO, Dara Khosrowshahi, posted that they're supporting, helping. I believe it was 3.3 million Londoners is the number that he gave out on his Twitter post. So it's a huge market, obviously. This is a huge market for drivers, 40,000 drivers, and then over 3 million Londoners. It's a huge market, but London determined that the background checks aren't sufficient. I don't believe they do fingerprints over there yet, but I've seen it. Markets over in Europe a lot tighter. A lot tighter, and some of these countries, cities, they just don't allow Uber in their area. And for London to do this, again, it's taken away income or full-time income from 40,000 drivers. And of course, Uber is appealing this, which, is to be expected. Interesting to see what's going to happen here in London, right? Simon says, what happened in London is a victory here for everyone here because they need to meet a requirement and follow the regulations as everyone else. Then regulated drivers will have a set rests, no cuts. I'm not catching that last part here. Yeah, but it comes down to regulation, I think, is what you're mentioning there, Simon. And to have an open market system that doesn't really have the same regulations as other drivers, perhaps, is the concern there for the London government. That, and again, the vetted background checks weren't sufficient, and there were safety concerns. Because of those background checks, there were safety concerns on the Uber platform as well. Yeah, good point. So what do you guys think about the London issue? Is Uber going to win the appeal? Now, they've already reached out to the Londoners and, more abroad, I believe with a petition, asking for action from Uber riders, from Uber passengers, to help save London is what they're calling it, I believe. Set rates, Simon. Set rates, okay. Simon was saying being regulated drivers will have set rates, no more cuts. Yeah, and guys, that is one of the improvements that I'm hoping for that I predicted in a video I'll link up here called Uber 2.0, is where I predicted some of the improvements going forward on the 180 Days of Change campaign, or more in general about what the new leadership is going to do. And one of those items was hopefully increased rates. Hey, Timothy Wong, thanks for joining. Hi, Mike. I'm in the Milwaukee market. I heard Chicago is requiring the drivers for Uber and Lyft to obtain chauffeurs' licenses and fingerprinting. Have you heard that? No, I have not. Let's find out right now. Let's do a little lookup, guys, and see what we can find here in Chicago. I'm not seeing anything right now. Timothy, do you prefer Tim? We're looking in Uber or Google News. I don't see anything right now, but we'll look into that more. Okay, we'll check some forums and see if we can find anything about Chicago requiring chauffeurs' licenses. But some concerns there, guys, is with licensing, is cost, of course. How much does it cost me to get this license? Are there background checks, etc.? Now, if you guys had to pay, let's say $100 a year, okay? If you had to pay $100 a year to get like a business license, let's say, and in doing so, you would have to go to a, county building, let's say, to get a fingerprint on file. Would you do that? Okay, and I'm just throwing this out there. Not too much, as far as an expense, maybe $150, let's say. $150 a year. You're talking like, what, $11, $12 a month. Would you do that? Simon says, fingerprints, yes, but you will still need a special plates from the taxi limousine division. Simon, thanks for the heads up there. Appreciate that. Timothy, okay, I heard the news about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, expenses is the biggest concern, guys. And then again, kind of like privacy, identifying information if you're giving away your fingerprint, Any other questions about London, guys, before we move on? Or anything related to that as far as regulations, right? Privacy, cost concerns? And I'm knocking on wood right now, guys. I think the cough is suppressed for a little bit. Timothy, okay, yes, I heard that law, that law was passed, referring to Simon saying that fingerprints are going to be required. Yeah, we had to do some fingerprinting at the DMV here in San Diego County. of course, just for the registration process. And again, I mean, I don't really think twice about that. So if we had to do fingerprinting for some kind of a business license or whatnot. Yeah, Timothy, I'm okay with fingerprinting. Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, if you think about it, if you guys are on the Apple ecosystem, I mean, I'm using Touch ID anyway and giving my fingerprint away to Apple all day. So I don't really think anything about giving, a fingerprint to the county or city or whatever. All right, guys. And again, feel free to ask me whatever you'd like here. We have maybe another 30 minutes for you guys here. I think we're going to do probably a hour live stream today, just because I'm sure you guys don't want to be bothered with a coughing all morning, right? Midnight Rider John, I would, shows the level of professionalism. Excuse me, guys. I do appreciate it. Yeah, it wouldn't really bother me. Wouldn't really bother me. I don't see any issues with it, really. So, guys, okay. I want to ask you real quick here, and this is an item that I wanted to talk about today, is let me know, and you can do this at any time during the video, or if you're watching this in the rebroadcast, let me know in the comments below, is what you would like to see on the channel. As we pass 1,500 subscribers, more reviews, more money-making strategies, understanding the Uber and Lyft apps, new videos for new signups, videos for new drivers, videos about vehicle setups, vehicle maintenance, anything about the actual vehicle itself, safety concerns, news articles. And I mean, there's so much we can talk about, obviously. So let me know, and I'm just going to leave that as a kind of open-ended running question. But if you have any videos that you really enjoy, that you want to see more of, let me know in the comments below. Typically, we're focusing on, money-making strategies, the most important news updates. Excuse me, guys. So, yeah, we're not doing, every single news article. Really, I like focusing on, the money-making strategies. That's why we're driving here. Driving smarter, important accessories, which I like the tech behind that. Timothy says no changes in the Milwaukee market. Yeah, guys. Simon says Chicago. I heard you guys went from 6 to 2, and then we're talking about the destination filter. Oh, Timothy says still 6 of today. Okay, still 6 as of today. Yeah, guys, about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Simon. In some markets, guys, Uber rescinded their update, basically. Okay, they basically took back one of their updates from the 180 days of change. As you know, Uber upped the destination filter from 2 to 6. Now, in some markets, they said, okay, we're kind of going to bring it back to 2. Sorry. We're going to bring it back down to 2. And the reason being is they cited riders were waiting longer for rides. And I can understand that, if riders are waiting longer for rides. I'm wondering what, the metrics actually look like, is how much, longer they're waiting and how often this was happening. That's kind of a big change, though. Drivers were getting, 6 destination filters to bring it back down to 2. That's kind of a big change. Hey, M Silver Hammer, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Let's see, guys. Yeah, Simon says, okay, well, it probably will change it. Okay, M Silver Hammer, what do you think of the fact that Uber, despite the 180 days of change, continues to hide the rider's destination from the driver until the ride is started? That's a good question, guys. And here's an interesting point, is on Lyft, once you get to the pickup destination, I believe you still can. Excuse me, guys. Hey, Bar Brother on Twitter, AMA, that is a Ask Me Anything, which means we're over on YouTube right now, and your driver Mike, talking about rideshare, business, etc. If you have any questions related to rideshare or whatever you'd like, feel free to join the conversation over on YouTube. Yeah, guys, with Lyft, you can see the destination, right? You can see the destination once you get to the rider pickup, and Uber doesn't show you that. And Uber doesn't show you any kind of destinations. That'd be interesting to see. If now, remember they're showing you the long trip notification, so at least you get that. If the ride's over 45 minutes, Uber will say, "Hey, we'll give you a heads up." No problem, Bar Brother. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining. So that'd be interesting. I mean, again, concerns about kind of cherry picking rides. That's always been the biggest thing. Now, and I think about this is Uber added the destination filters, but then after it basically failed in their eyes, or at least didn't help, they took it back. So I'm wondering if this is the first time they've done this. This is the first time they've changed anything from their 180 Days of Change campaign, because it basically didn't work out. So, all right, guys, let's catch up. M. Silverhammer, Uber also hides the name of the restaurant and merely indicates meal. Yep, when sending out an Uber Eats request. Hiding destinations and restaurants leads to drivers canceling when they actually find out the destination. Bad for riders and drivers. How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining on Twitter. I appreciate it. Yeah. And it's tricky because I've never really canceled on a passenger, once you do the pickup. Because again, you don't see it until you start the ride. I've never canceled on them. Now here's the thing. You probably should cancel if they're going on an exceptionally far ride. Or let's say to the airport if it's your last ride. And if you're pressed for time, if you got to be somewhere, for whatever reason, if it doesn't work for you, then you can cancel. Now, Uber kind of thought of this, or at least saw the trends, because they've added the arrival times, right? They added the arrival times on destination filters, and they've given you more destination filters. You can say, I need to be home by, 5. Yeah, Simon, hopefully they'll follow Lyft steps. You guys are flying in the chat. That's awesome. Hey, All Things Cleveland, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Destination filter still works here. All right. If Uber showed the destinations, then drivers could simply pass on the ride and not accept. That's true. That's true. On the Uber platform, of course, you're going to get it. You're going to get the closest driver. Now, recently, there's been talk about ratings going into that as well. But traditionally, you'll get the closest driver. So if drivers are ignoring certain rides, though, how is that going to affect passengers waiting for rides? Now, if they do that, I may see them doing the same thing they did with destination filters. Is they'll say, "Hey, we'll let you know the destination." And actually, I believe they were beta testing that, weren't they? I believe they were beta testing destinations in a certain market. Now that I remember. Hey Timothy, do you think that the rates for drivers will eventually go up, or will they just keep raising the booking fee? Right? Uber does traditionally raise those booking fees, guys, which goes just to Uber. We don't get any of that, of course. I do think they will raise the rates. And I've been thinking that for a couple months now. Yeah, I do. I think that the direction they've been going in with the new leadership, and again, just the improvements they've been making on the platform since they started that 180 days of change, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they'll improve rates. Because I'll tell you what, guys, when I started in Pittsburgh of October of 2015, it was $120 a mile. And I took base fares at $120 a mile. And that was kind of the low end of what I wanted to accept. I think 150 is solid. 150, I'll drive that all day. But I did take to 120, and then as the rates were lowered, it's more important to drive on those surge rides because you're not going to really make a lot of profit. If you're doing 90 cents a mile, minus 53.5 cents a mile for expenses. 150 would be solid. Timothy, yeah, that upfront pricing is pretty interesting. So, for example, $60 quote to get there, but it actually only took 30. Yeah, the upfront pricing, still a controversy, right? That they will quote, the passenger, like Timothy said, 60, and then the driver gets a fraction of that. The driver doesn't get, the regular commission, which they agreed to. Hey, Cali Uber, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And I also saw, yes, Good Boog Enterprises. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm glad you could pop on here. Cali Uber says, how are you liking San Diego? San Diego is awesome. It is basically 70-something degrees every day and sunny. It's very nice here. I'm getting pretty familiar with some of the main arteries. We have 805, maybe 94. I'm getting there. I'm not the best with directions, but I'm using that GPS. It's all about orientation, right? If you take a certain route and you get flipped around, if you're in the south part of the city, if you move, northwest, somewhere you've never been, you need to get your orientation. Okay, where is downtown? Where are the landmarks? Where am I? So we're getting the hang of that. Yeah, we're getting there. Like for me, right? Where is the coast? Where's Mission Beach? Where's Pacific Beach? Where's Qualcomm Stadium, which is going to be renamed? So where is everything, right? So if I do get flipped around, then I can, make decisions quickly instead of having to rely on the GPS all the time, which is why it's so important to know your market. Yeah, but San Diego's great, guys. You guys are flying. Let's catch up. Let's catch up. Hey, 6 people in the live stream. Guys, right now, if you could leave a like on the live stream, if you have sympathy for my cold right now, if you have sympathy for the cold right now, can you leave a like? If not, if you don't care about that, if you can just leave a like because you enjoy the live stream. If you enjoy the content on this channel, if you can do so just right now, quick timeout takes 2 seconds. If you can leave a like on the live stream, I'd really appreciate it. You guys are flying. Let's catch up here. Let's catch up. All right, let's see, guys. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Simon confirms about the pickups. They changed the logarithm. Your rating now plays a huge part of it. It doesn't go by whoever is closest. Ratings matter. Yeah. I was thinking that, and I was hoping that wasn't the case. I was hoping it was still like 2015, where it was simply just the destination. And it kind of makes sense though, and here's why. Because in most markets, there's so many drivers that if you give it to the driver that's 100 yards away, there's another one that's 90 yards away or 105 yards away. There's a lot of drivers, is what I'm saying. In some of these major markets, there's a lot of drivers. So Uber can be a little bit more picky. So to encourage better service for the rider, the algorithm can say, well, we have 5 drivers that are going to be there within 4 to 5 minutes. Why wouldn't we give it to the better driver so the passenger can have a better experience? Maybe this passenger doesn't take Uber a lot, and we really want to win over this passenger. Let's give them the highest chance of loving Uber by giving them the highest rated driver. That's why they're doing it. And it's a good point. Thanks for, Simon, you got a great updates here on the live stream about some of the developments on the platform. Appreciate that. Yeah, and it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, in some of the smaller markets, in little micro markets, it may be not as important, but some of these large markets, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, they can definitely be a little bit more picky. All Things Cleveland, of course, Mike. I usually click like right away. I got you. Thank you, guys. If you like the video before it even starts, I appreciate that. You guys are awesome. All right, guys. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yes, rates are so low that you just need to do a high volume of rides to make money. Yeah, Timothy, it's tricky with a high volume because we've talked about on the channel before. There's two strategies. There is, researching those surge trends. Excuse me. There's researching those surge trends and, try to capitalize on surge, which is what I typically talk about here. Less miles in the car, higher rates per mile, okay? Expenses are the same, operating expenses are the same. And you can make some great money if you have some high surge, but, more recently, surge is going down, the prevalence of surge as drivers go up, and passengers may wait out surge, right? So you may have to take a higher volume to make more money. Now, of course, you're doing, more miles in the car, so you have to kind of balance the two. All right, guys, all right. So, real quick here, guys. As you know, we try to maximize your profits here on the channel. I'm excited to get out here in San Diego and drive this market. The rates are the same compared to Pittsburgh, pretty much. 110 a mile. Yeah, 110 a mile, 15 cents a minute. And I always try to maximize my profit and drive smarter. That's why I use cargo. If you guys haven't heard of cargo, we'll link the intro video up here. Just want to talk about it real quick. If you're not signed up for cargo already, they're currently operating in a handful of markets, but expanding especially to the West Coast pretty soon here, guys. If you're in a West Coast market, make sure to sign up with the links below. If you're in any market, they're expanding soon, and they can allow you to make on average $150 a month or more. If you're interested, check out that link below. Hey, Iron Claw from New Jersey, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Nice to have you in here as always. Francisco, 30 rides over $250 average in Philadelphia. Let's check that out, Francisco. Okay, so 250. You said what? How many rides? Okay, 30 rides. That's good. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, Francisco said over 30 rides, over $250 average. That's good because if we do the math on that, that's $8.33 a ride. And if that's net profit, that's pretty decent. Because you can think minimum fares are like what? $4, $5. Now I think from what I've always done, if you can average $10 or more a ride, and then you're kind of on fire, and you're typically doing a lot of surge runs. So Francisco is approaching that $8.33. That's pretty good. And again, that's over 30 rides, so there's a good amount of consistency there. Hey Francisco, are you using PowerPod? I've seen Uberman and Rideshare Professor feature PowerPod. And what that is a charging device that has USB-C, Lightning, and micro USB, all packaged in one pod, which looks like a kind of large capsule that connects to the rod on your headrest. Okay, you put the headrest up and it has the exposed rods. It attaches to that, and it's a large capsule, and you can pull the chargers down on a retractable line to charge your phone if you're a passenger, and then they retract back into the power pod. And I was interested in taking a look at that because I've had a few companies reach out to me for product reviews and endorsements, but I've turned down probably a good 90% of them. I saw Cargo and I was absolutely on board with Cargo. I mean, that's the one product that I will be with for some time, because as soon as I saw that, I know that's going to make us money. It's going to make you more money with Cargo. I know that. I know the product was a great product, and I researched the team behind it. It's not just a product. How's the team? Do I believe in this startup, and do I believe they're going to have success? And I saw a lot of success with not only the senior leadership there, but with the team as well and what they were doing. So I was all on board with cargo. I've had some other companies that I didn't really want to partner with because I want to provide you guys with quality, not quantity as far as endorsements. Speaking of, and my point here is with PowerPod, I may reach out to PowerPod because I'm thinking I may want to do a partnership with them. I'm still on the fence about it because I like the product. I do like the product. I think it's, I want something that's clean. I want something that has a good aesthetic to it. And I think that has that, okay? Looks pretty nice, and it has the USB-C, which is great. That's the new USB technology. They have USB-C, and then Lightning, and then micro USB. And it's in a nice form factor. So we may get a video with PowerPod. And actually, you know what? Maybe I can set up a giveaway for some of you guys, too. We'll see what they're into. Yeah, Iron Claw, we were talking about that earlier. Iron Claw says, Mike, what do you think about London getting rid of Uber? 40,000 drivers, yeah. 40,000 drivers can no longer drive on the Uber platform because of that, because of London rescinding their business operations, really. I mean, they basically shut down Uber in London. And the number, again, I believe was over 3 million Londoners that are going to be affected by this. So, yeah, interesting to see. Uber's appealing it. We're going to have to follow that closely. But you can imagine, if they took it away here in San Diego, I mean, that's huge. So I can absolutely, relate to how that must feel as a driver. Because, again, if they took it away here and, there's some higher expenses here, let's say, in the California area, that, it's nice to have that supplemental or full-time income, and have that taken away is huge. Hey, Simon, anytime, guys. I think referring to somebody. Love Mike's live streams as much as I would love to stay. I got to get ready to make some money. It's Saturday night. Mike, hope you feel better. To viewers, have an awesome weekend. Stay safe. Simon, hey, really appreciate you joining. Don't worry about me, guys. I think it's allergies or a little cold. I'm okay. We may get some Dayquil today or something. It's like bothering me, guys. It's been like a couple of days here, It's like just enough to bother me. Good Boog. Hey, yes, A&M. Yes, Razorback game will be over in a little while. I'll be there for Surge. LOL. And that's interesting, guys. If you're a new driver, pay attention right now. Or if you're a seasoned driver, hey, pay attention right now too. That's the thing that hasn't changed in 5+ years on the Uber system, is knowing when it's going to surge. That has never changed through all these up and downs of the systems, app changes, updates for drivers. One thing that's been constant is if you know the areas that's going to surge, you can make good money. That's never changed. And like Good Boog highlights here is, these games, these sporting events, concerts, whatever it may be, if you know where they're at, when they're going to end, you can make good money. That's never changed. That's why it's important, guys, that I say always do the research on your market. Check on Facebook. Put bookmarks on your internet, right? So on your internet page, put bookmarks to important pages, like event pages, Facebook groups, what's going on in your city. So you can reference them quickly. You can reference, every day. Excuse me. Every day, every week, so you know when you should be out there to drive. Good question. Yeah, Iron Claw, that is a good question. After a sporting event, how soon should I be waiting for riders to get the surge? That's a fantastic question, guys. Hey, we got about 10 minutes left here, guys. I don't want to be coughing in your ear all day, so we're going to go for another 10 minutes, I'd say. Okay, I love that question. Let's talk about it. So, let's map this out here, guys. Game starts at 7. Game goes until, I don't know, let's say 10. When should you be there? I'm going to ask you guys. When would you be there? game starts at 7, game ends at 10, when would you be there and why? And then I'm going to give my input on this. And take a second here, post it in the comments, and list why. Again, when would you be there and why would you be there at that time? And I'm writing some things down here as well. I'm going to answer this in just a sec. Let me know, guys. So here's my input. I do want you to put your comments in the comments, live stream or below. So, if the game starts at 7 and the game ends at 10, I would be there probably 9:15. Or if you have a different strategy, you can even do 9. And here's why. You have to account for traffic, okay? Wherever you're coming from, getting to the stadium, you have to anticipate traffic. I would rather be early and wait or miss surge or have a passenger cancel because you're in crazy traffic trying to get to them, right as the game ends. So 9's a little early. 9:15 I think is pretty good, but you need to be there. You need to be parked and there by 9 or 9:15. Because if you go early, you'll miss some of that traffic. Traffic from taxis, Uber, Lyft cars, shuttle cars, friends picking up their friends from the game. There's going to also be a good amount of traffic coming into the stadium. Also, road closures. Do the research on what roads are going to be closed coming into the stadium. Because again, if you don't go early enough, if you're going right at 9:40, and then you hit a road closure, it's going to take you around the stadium, away from the stadium, and I've had that happen. I come in my normal way, that road's blocked. I get sent this way. I go up and around. I come back. There's another road closure. I have to go down this way, and there's so many road closures. So if you get there earlier, you may beat it before the traffic, before police are blocking off roads. Okay. And again, know which roads are going to block off. So get in there early, beat those road closures, beat all the traffic coming in, park, and that's another thing. Where are you going to park? Where are you going to legally park at? You need to find a place to stage. Excuse me, guys. You need to find a place to stage and wait for the surge to start building up too. So that's another thing. Secondly, you need to know the waves of traffic. You need to anticipate that there's going to be a couple of waves of traffic. The first one being attendees leaving early, trying to beat the traffic. Okay, there's your first wave. Second wave are going to be most everyone leaving as the game is basically ended. Third, smaller wave is people going to be hanging on, still trying to, beat the traffic or, wait until everyone leaves and then they're going to leave. Yeah, Good Boog says we have a assigned staging area. And yeah, some of these larger markets, guys, you are going to have an assigned staging area or a queue system, okay? And, you're going to have to do that research and find out what your market does and find out, okay, well, if there is a queue system, how is that going to work so I can make the most profits? But for Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, whereas the market that I just came from, there's no queue system. There was an assigned pickup area that was pretty poorly executed, and it was very hard to get to for drivers. So you need to get there early, beat those road closures, find a safe place to park so you can wait. And then again, watch those waves of attendees, of people leaving. If you can park within eye shot of the stadium, watch how the waves of people are coming out. Lastly, you need to know the trends of the Uber or Lyft app. You should have an idea through prior research, how high surge typically should get for a game, let's say. You get there at a certain time, and then okay, well, when the game is actually over, I should expect a 3.5. So you're looking at the attendees coming out. Okay, if it still seems like there's a lot of good foot traffic, then you know surge should still increase. Watch the app as well. Watch those trends and see, okay, 2, 2.5, 3. There's my 3.5. The foot traffic still looks good. At that point, make your decision. Foot traffic still looks really solid. It's a 3.5. Typically, that's as high as it gets. Here's where the risk comes into the system, right? Do you want to hang on? Do you want to wait for like a, I don't know, 3.8? Maybe it's going to go higher. Why? Because there's still a ton of people coming out. Excuse me, guys. So just keep an eye on, those trends, the foot traffic, and then beating the traffic coming into the stadium. Hey, Monica, bravo. Thanks for joining 9:30 because people like to leave early. People do like to leave early. And that's the thing, guys, is it going to peak at 9:45 or is it going to peak at 10:05 after the game or 10:10? That's where your local research comes into play. You kind of need to find out, okay, it's partly the Uber algorithm, where do they mark the highest surge? So it's partly that, where's the highest surge and then where's the actual demand? Yeah, Timothy, I hope you feel better. I know, guys, anyone that's watched this live stream, you guys are awesome because you're putting up with the cold or whatever this is. So thank you. We're going to wrap up in just a little bit here. Hang on for me just one sec here, guys. All right. As you can tell, I needed to blow my nose, and you don't want to see that on the live stream. And we're back. All right. 9 p.m. Yeah, Timothy says, here's the thing about being early is, don't be afraid to be there at 9 when it ends at 10 because you can see, all right, maybe it's a blowout game, right? Maybe it's a blowout game and people are leaving, especially early, because the game is, you're clearly going to lose or whatever it is. Or maybe you beat other drivers. Maybe there's not a lot of drivers there already, but a lot of passengers are leaving because it is such a blowout, right? So you may hit that early surge and be able to get some good profits because no one's there. And then you can double up. If it's a pretty decent drive, it's not too far away, you can drive back to the stadium, hopefully beat any road closures, any local knowledge. You can know those certain routes to get into the stadium easier and double up and get another fare. Good Boog, you need to give away some shirts, LOL. That's not a bad idea. The Your Driver Mike shirt, guys. This is the team shirt. I could have just done this, huh? This is the Your Driver Mike team shirt, guys. We are a community. We are a team here. These are found over on our Spreadshirt store. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/Your Driver Mike. The link's below in the description. That's not a bad idea. We have this and some other shirts. We could definitely do a giveaway. I think we will. I'll have to think about that and plan that. You guys are flying. Let's catch up. Timothy, speaking of, my beloved Brewers are playing the Cubs, and the surge after the game as well as before is 5, 6, 7, and today it will be close to 7 or 8. I presume there's 45 to 50,000 people in Miller Park. Is that a 5x, 6x, 7x, Timothy? And then you're saying it will be close to a 7x or an 8x? If so, that is fantastic. I'm wondering what the rates are. What are the rates there in Milwaukee? That's a fantastic surge. Here in Milwaukee, Canal Street is a great alternative. Then the freeway is always jammed on the freeway. Absolutely, guys. In Pittsburgh, it was 376. It was the Parkway. You'd cross a bridge and go down Allegheny Avenue, or the exit, off ramp to Allegheny, and that would always be slammed. So you can take an alternative route through downtown and come in the back way. There's always things like that that can save you time, which also makes you more money. Good boog. Jerry World is a nightmare. That's what is that? Dallas? Is that the Cowboys? Good boog. Am I getting the reference right? Yeah, Timothy, there's always people leaving all the time. Absolutely. Concerts too, guys. Think about concerts too. Is, not everyone's going to stay until 2 a.m. or whenever the concert ends. People are going to get tired. People went early. They want to leave a little bit earlier as well. So there's always a market for that as well. There's market for demand. Because especially if it's, I'll tell you what, guys. That's why it's important to do the research. Because maybe it's kind of a lesser known festival or something, let's say. In Pittsburgh, we had a festival called Thrival. Thrival. It was in a old factory plant area of Pittsburgh. That was on the southeast part of the city. That was very industrial. It was very industrial and very isolated, but it was still within, pretty close to within the city. 25 minutes less, 20 minutes out of the city. And then not a lot of drivers knew about it, but it had a ton of young attendees, and those are the main demographic that use Uber and Lyft generally. So there was a ton of surge, and because we did the research, I knew that there was going to be a lot of demand there. So that's why it's important for you guys to be your local experts and know what's going on. Good boog, yes. Okay, it is Dallas. Yeah, that is some stadium, guys. That Dallas Cowboys stadium, that is some stadium, I'll tell you that. Hey guys, we do need to wrap it up here in a little bit. Let me jump over to Turo real quickly here and talk about this for just a few minutes with you guys. Mackenzie and I did use Turo for the first time traveling to Washington State for Above and Beyond ABGT 250. We posted a picture from ABG 250 on Twitter if you want to check that out. Check that out at Your Driver Mike on Twitter. We're going to do a full video on Turo and my review of Turo. The car that we used was a Honda Civic 2009, I believe, or older. May have been a little older. But a very reliable car. The car was reliable. The space was good for what we needed. It was kind of a camping excursion / music festival. The process was pretty interesting. We can talk about the process of what it was like to use Turo. Our host, his name was Q, like the letter Q, had over 20 cars on the Turo system. 20 cars on the Turo system. And again, this allows individuals to post their personal cars for rental and earn income off of those rentals. And he had a nice business setup where he had 20 cars on the Turo platform. Super nice, had a ton of great reviews, and the cost was quite reasonable in comparing it to traditional rental services like Avis, Rent-A-Car, and Hertz. And you do also get insurance coverage. You pay for that when you're renting your vehicle. Excuse me. Depending on what kind of coverage you would like, you can have a base coverage. You can have maximum coverage, and you can have no coverage if you want as well, which I don't recommend. Process was pretty straightforward, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in the complete review video. But look for that coming up. Yeah. Hey, rideshare consultant, thanks for joining. Any word on when cargo expands? I signed up through your referral code, and I haven't heard any updates for a month from cargo. Yeah, guys, anyone that signs up or has signed up with cargo, I talked to the team a little bit ago, and they expressed interest in expanding to Los Angeles and West Coast markets first. So if you're in the West Coast, cargo should be expanding first there. Now, I haven't reached out to them recently. So what I'm going to do is email my contact right after this live stream, and we'll find out for you. We'll find out what the timeline is as far as expansion. I'll tell you what, guys, there's been a lot of demand. There's been a lot of demand, thousands of drivers that are interested in cargo with good reason. You know, it's a great system. So we'll find out what their plan is going forward. But I do anticipate cargo to continue to expand and enter new markets. Let's see if we can find a timeline, because I know a lot of you guys are awesome, signed up pretty quickly, you're really excited about it, just like I am. So we'll find out a timeline for you. All right, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. You guys are, oh, you guys are awesome for hanging with me. I apologize for the annoying muting. At least we'll mute it. We'll mute it for you instead of coughing in your ear. I think that's a lot better, right? Post any other questions that you guys have in the comments section below if you're watching this on the rebroadcast. On your way out, if you can leave a like on the video, shows me that you guys get value from these live streams, enjoy the content on the channel. Gets more people in here, more eyes on the channel, and more people on the Your Driver team. And of course, it boosts us in YouTube's super almighty algorithm, guys. If you can leave a like on your way out, I'd really appreciate it. Every Saturday, guys, we're doing every Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll use this and see how this time slot goes for everybody. Good Boo, hey, I'm fairly new to using to using YouTube. There we go. What's Super Chat? Super Chat's a way to show kind of, you know, extra appreciation for your creator, your YouTube creator, by kind of basically sending a tip via Super Chat. Super Chat highlights your comment as well if you want something to rise to the top of the chat. And it also holds your comment there for a certain amount of time, depending on what denomination you give. And you can do that on laptop, desktop. So that is Super Chat. If you guys would like, you know, as always on our live streams, you can send a Super Chat if you'd like. Midnight Rider John, thanks as always. Feel better. I know, guys. I need some Dayquil. It's like that annoying cold, you know, where it's like just enough, you know, or whatever it is. You know, we'll get some Dayquil today. Thanks for that, John. Appreciate it. So, guys, go enjoy your Saturday wherever you're at. If you're driving, hope you're making a great profit today. And we'll see you guys next week. Again, post your comments below. Any feedback, any videos you want to see, any giveaways or products you want to see, let me know as well. So, guys, we'll see you next time. I appreciate you watching. Have a good day, guys.